but I'm actually leaning towards Aqua more.
Yeah, well, we'll see, guys. There we go. We get the Esmeralda being shown. There's no surprise. I think the Project Next totally dictates of that priority ban for that lane-dominating lady. Now, we have RPH also going to be removing that Yuzong and Blacklist International. Interesting. They're going to be removing the Selena. They are now eyeing towards Grid. Khalid might be open here.
You can never give out the Selena to Greed, because there are teams that are just letting it go because it's on another team. But seeing how Greed utilized that against Execration, it just single-handedly won them the game.
Yes, for the Selena.
Yeah.
I mean, all those arrows actually, it's been connecting back and forth against that match with Execration. My accounting for this is that, of course, for accounting for side laners, we're looking towards the Uranus, especially with that Esmeralda ban, or a Khalid. But, you know, you'd have to account for the first pick advantage that Blacklist has. Though, alright, Aura is opening up teams. So, if they are opening up teams, they might be eyeing on securing maybe just the Thams first, or the Ling. YSS will also be open. Let's look here on the ban. They're really carefully considering this. I would suggest Blacklist on baiting RPH and just securing maybe the Uranus. Probably a Uranus, and just have themselves some YSS. I think that is totally rewarding for full clip. Or, though there is a link onto JP. That's the running problem. Lots of options, really.
Yeah, point of contention here is going to be Ling, because they have two of the best Ling players in the league right now. Hilda is the last ban here. I think they don't want to give it to Raflisha. Raflisha won't shy away from just annoying the hell out of the other team when he gets that Hilda.
Alright, we got a Kufra here for the side of Aura PH. Ladies and gentlemen, Khalid will also be open if they don't ban it. Although, yeah, we would have the link. Farsa, lots of stuff being opened, so I think this should be a link, like you mentioned.
Okay, it's going to be a Farsa.
Yeah, Farsa ban.
But now, Blacklist is torn. Which will you get? Uranus or the Khalid?
Or a Ling.
Whatever happens here, Aura PH will have a setup for a Thams equals the Khalid.
Okay, they're eyeing the side lane first.
Yeah, they're probably they could just go for the Ling right now.
Yeah, and they're eyeing the Uranus, so this leaves Thams or a Khalid option to be open for the side of Aura. I'm not so sure though if will they be securing or showing their main core, as there's a nice demand for security on that part. Maybe just go for something safe. Just go for Khalid. Right? Just go for Khalid.
Khalid and Thams. I think it's the safest way to go.
Yeah, doesn't give out so much, right?
Or if ever Aura PH has another understanding of the meta, then it's probably going to be that way. But it's going to be a Khalid.
Khalid Thams. It did something safe.
Yeah.
So you give a signal now of probably, if that's Khalid and Thams,
I'm guessing
either lane or YSS. It doesn't matter for now. For now, right?
For now. I think for Blacklist International, they could go for Jawhead and Ling. Jawhead and Ling will look nice on this Uranus setup.
Both are good YSS players as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. There's a lot of overlap for that part.
Oh, Roger.
Wow. That is very early.
So that means they're okay. They're okay with
totally
RPH
okay,
getting that Ling. Oh, and they... okay.
Alright.
They do have the show as well. So it's going to be the show and the Roger. Yeah, I like the mobility. Okay, so Cho and Roger actually works well together.
Yeah.
Like the aggression and the dives that they can do.
Yeah, especially once you get the kick or even just a simple Jit Kondo knock-up can easily be followed for by that Roger. And it makes... it will give you some questions, but not really so bad, you know, of choosing a Ling, of choosing a YSS. Because Lancelot will also be open anyway, right? And both are capable of playing that. There's just a lot of overlap between Edward and JP here. Maybe even Aura would consider, you know, mixing things a bit. Maybe show us support for now.
And
but there we go. They just went with the Lancelot.
They go straight for a Lance. And it's pretty much safe to go for that Lance right now, just because RPH, they saw the carry, the jungler, of the hyper carry rather, of Blacklist International. They saw Roger, and okay, we're gonna go for the invades. And I think Aura PH here not gonna really stay away from their current style of playstyle on the previous patch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where my curiosity lies. We have the Popple and Koopa for the side here of RPH. Ladies and gentlemen, for the ban, RPH is now eyeing actually on targeting the support position here against Dexstar and maybe even Eson, but it'd be rewarding to target Dexstar for now as it is the biggest contrast on the side of Blacklist International's composition. It is the one that is lacking. No mid laner yet. A Digiban.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, 50 gold isn't.
So much.
Is it really gonna make you flinch?
Possible, right? Yeah.
I mean,
So maybe Blacklist understands it.
Think of it as one extra minion.
Yeah, just one extra minion. Not much on the reward. RPH gonna be removing that Jawhead as well. I do believe the Jawhead is a very, very good ban, especially on the plans here for Eason. Imagine a Jawhead on Eason's aggression, right?
And you know what? I'm actually surprised that Blacklist International did prioritize that show first. The Jawhead is somewhat of a priority pick right now for some of the teams, but it's all about their understanding, and let's see how will this drafting pattern will pan out.
Let us see. We got RPH here. Yet to choose their mid laner and also their tank support. I would suggest that they should pick their tank support now. But rather they went for the mid lane. They went for something very stable. Maybe something that Blacklist International has a nice propensity in picking, and that would be of the Chango.
Okay. Durant's carrier, it's there. First skill got nerfed a bit, but there is a substantial buff to the second skill. It will give him a certain amount of damage. For other heroes, he can be as harass heavy as possible. But they really have to look out for this Chang'o, because the thing is, if ever Roger finds ways to get the gold, you can easily tear that Chang'o down.
Yeah.
You
can easily tear that Chango down, and you know, Blacklist International, they require some heavy engages here. Kufra won't be available. They went for the Sicilian and
the Lolita.
Lolita is good against the Chango by default. Curious about the Sicilian pick. I mean, well, there's no Natalia option anyway, so it's already banned. That's why, no, right? And probably because no more Kufra, even with the Atlas option, I think it's totally okay still for Blacklist in choosing the Sicilian.
What are they gonna go for here? I'm actually
makes things really weird, you know, with the Sicilian pick, honestly.
It's.
But the best part about Sicilian is the moment that everyone dives, you just activate your ultimate, you have decent wave clear, and you can go toe-to-toe with that Chango wave clear. But, of course, just go for that 2-2-1.
Okay, so they go for that Gushon.
Double carry setup.
Side lane.
Yeah, double carry setup. Gold EXP lane Gushon, it's probable. Get that level 4 quick. But how will they allocate the buff? That's the big question.
Okay, so there is a setup for Gushon that ever since the last patch, he wasn't really that heavy in terms of getting the purple buff. It was more on the side lane part, and you always get the execute. Now, I'm not so sure what KLVJ is gonna go for, but if statistically speaking, they're gonna go for that KLVJ traditional Gushon, he is gonna have that execute, and he is going to try to do it as much as possible once he hits level 4. Now, onto the other side, it makes Edward a bit scared to maneuver properly, because that's the thing about the Sicilian. Sicilian here, once it doesn't have the flicker, he cannot escape that Gushon properly.
Yeah, he cannot totally escape that Gushon properly, and that's very, very big question here. There is a nice potency on that Gushon, but again, the allocation of resources. That's where it lies for the side here of Aura. But that's what makes this matchup and this series totally exciting. I mean, on how these two very wise teams really approach the new and the biggest question of Mobile Legends, and that's how you handle Project Next Patch in the competitive platform. Now, we have here a 1-3-1 setup. Gushon will be on the experience lane along with the Uranus, facing the Uranus. Gold lane Sicilian. Very interesting. An acceleration maybe for that Enchanted Talisman against that Thams. Alright.
And they put Edward into that certain role because they want him to probably get the Clock of Destiny fast.
Mm-hmm.
It is good. It could be the Clock of Destiny, but look at Eson here being very aggressive, and they just let him be.
Yeah, they just let him be. They know that they cannot afford to actually put delay onto that buff. Even with just grid chasing him, they need someone to at least juggle that jungle camp, or they will suffer the reset. So, one buff lead for JP here. Full clip still stays in the mid. I think they really plan on at least. Alright. So there's a side lane Gusion. I'm actually curious if how will they allocate things, but so far the buff goes to the Lancelot, and now a fight breaks out here to the purple buff of the members here of Blacklist International. Raplicia dances around, being the disruptor, and now the saboteur. Also, Dexter follows through, puts his bulwark up, and full clip wouldn't follow up.
Okay, I like the passiveness of both teams.
Yeah.
They're just being controlled, just trying to see, just
The
trying
time
to.
comes that their main carry, full clip here, visits the gold lane. There's a good support, right, in the form of that Sicilian. But first blood, 1-for-1 will be the overall trade, as of course Rafflesia dives in too deep. I think that's under third range, and yeah.
And look at onto the bottom lane, Kill VJ here getting caught out, and I think that is one dead Gusion. That's the thing about Gusion. If you use that combo and you didn't get to execute,
Yeah, especially with incandescence.
it's not going to be a trade.
Yeah, a walking Gusion is not really a threatening Gusion. You know, Gusion is highlighted by his mobility. You have to remember that.
Oh, look at this, Rafflesia.
I don't know, just dancing around, and we have to account for the fact that Rafflesia has minimal damage, only just for the disruption. Even full clip knows he can actually trade this and get the buff. Just Rafflesia really being a saboteur again against full clip.
And how will they acknowledge the factor here that it's almost 3 minutes, the platings will go down. Look at Kilowash here actually winning his lane. That is a lot of damage onto that plating, and how many gold does this guy have? Because he has 1 kill, and almost 1/4 of the plating is left already.
I don't know. Things are so heavy here. For the side of Aura, I mean for the side of Blacklist, Aura is now steadily trying to recuperate that death onto KLBJ. That's why maybe Rafflesia has been camping on. Especially it makes a lot of sense with this turtle totally on. Numinum Blast didn't tag anyone on the side here of Aura PH. Rather, they will be the one to secure also the turtle and also another kill against the full clip. That's a lot of win. So much and too big. Make that 3 without any answer here by Black. And the result was 2-1, and it was won by Aura. And from the looks of it, Aura can now capitalize once again. And there you go. Beautiful.
And that was a bit of
that
was a bit of a miscalculation there from KLVJ.
KLVJ. He actually did engage without his Calamity Reaper. And he was not given any opportunity to cast his execute.
He actually got damaged there, correct? By the concussive blast.
Yeah.
That really messed up his calculation into diving in with the sword spike. He thought that he had enough HP to get out. He almost had the incandescence up on his side.
Yeah.
But when the time came, the Jit Kundo, the Wave of the Dragon was there, and there was no coming back from that.
Eason just greeted him actually. So we got 3-5 here. And the lead that we've been telling you guys, it's not really 2K. I was looking at it earlier before the pause. It was 2K. Now we are sitting at a 3K, almost 4K earlier. And yeah, this is what will happen. JP has the lead. He will face and pummel it into the base of Blacklist International. Goes for the dive toward Rose. Half health on Dexter. Of course, there's some follow-up from RPH, but it doesn't matter. The lead is there, and that is a turret push once again. And it's like RPH 4 members are cleaning up against the mess of the lane here by KLBJ.
And it's all about the shields here for Lolita. And once you deplete those shields without the items, Lolita is not as tanky as you think. Yeah. You have
especially
damage.
with the bulwark down.
You have damage negations.
Yeah.
On the bulwark, and that's one of the things that make that you know what, that Lolita seems tanky. It's more in the idea of the bulwark protecting you from a lot of the damage.
Indeed. 3-5 for our running game, ladies and gentlemen. There goes Aqua. He's gonna be careful. There is also the Clock of Destiny towards Edward. A turtle will be secured here by the members, of course, of Aura PH.
Kill VJ here. will just try to get away, and look at this. Will Aura PH punish? They won't make it in time.
They won't make it in time, man. 6-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. There's gonna be it. That's gonna be JP. Ison also staying here. Raflesia just dancing around. He did saw Ison, but of course, Raflesia is not really one of the best targets from the side of Aura PH.
I mean, later if they get a bit of a, if they get a bit of items, it could be a possibility. But Essen right now, oh, he gets blocked out, and a lot of ultimates were used there onto the side of Aura PH.
Oh, that is a good security as well by Edward. Upon the ultimate that comes in from Greed, I think Aura PH is starting to respect at least that kite back from Edward. Although Edward did suffer a 0-2-0, you know, on his running KDA. It's actually a matter of how will you penetrate these lines from Blacklist International.
You know what? The understanding here from the other, from Aura PH, remember that Mobile Legends Championship Invitational that we had? That certain draft that they pulled out there, they just mixed it with their with the Season 6 pre-Project Next Patch understanding of theirs. They put Gushon onto the side lane. Then you get fighter supports, fighter tanks. that's their understanding for the side of RPH.
And there's also an attempt here by Ison to go for the kick under a turret, and that is a setup messing up against Blacklist International. That's just more and more lead established here by Aura. But it's also just the lead.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a lead flowing through and in favor of Aura PH. I mean, we see this the moment that they actually died on the turtle earlier.
Look at Kilowash. You have to account for Kilowash here.
Yeah.
He is giving a lot of space, a lot of pushing capability here onto the side of Aura PH, and he has to be accounted for. And right now, there is a good Numinum Blast.
Yeah, and let's see here. There is a good catch towards KLBJ, but no more Numinum Blast. There is that. Raflesia was able to flicker out. No follow-up will come in from JP here. And that's what we are looking for. If there is one thing that can return the pacing here for Blacklist International, that would be of that Numinum Blast of Dexter.
Okay, so now, Blacklist International, they're getting the kills. I like it. The pickoffs are there. It's stopping Aura PH from delaying everything that's happening. Or it's a part of delaying Aura PH through everything that they're trying to execute here. But remember, there is a fact that when Aura PH loses one member, every lane is shoved to the side of Blacklist International.
Yeah, that is the thing here. There's also one lane being worked on by the members of Blacklist. He just got full clip here. He just got full clip here onto the bottom lane outer turret. He has shown himself with the minions that gives freedom for Aura PH along with JP to go for this inner mid lane turret. And you know, Dexter should be careful with this kind of dives because JP knows of where and when full clip will be arriving. At least he has a nice estimate on it.
Okay, so there was a trade in terms of turrets. They got one to the side of Blacklist International to the bottom lane. What Aura PH did was, we get two. We get two on the tier 2.
Yeah, man.
Oh my.
Here, alright. We have an inner bottom lane turret. Raflesia walks out. Numinum Blast once again. And at least that is a good catch towards Raflesia. Will they commit for the dive? Ison is now setting up for the Jeet Kundu. He gets greeted quickly by JP. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phantom Execution doesn't finish him, but the autos will do. Full creep, rerolls, goes and focus onto the other. KLBJ finally executes someone, and it would be of the Uranus. Everyone walks away with a 2-4-1 trade.
Okay, so now Aura PH can set up. Blacklist International lost 2 people here onto their side. Aura PH, on the other hand, they have Raflesia in 5 seconds. So if they can go back to that Lord lane, they can just make it seem like Blacklist International that, hey, we're gonna take the Lord. Come here. We want to fight again.
Yeah. Are you here? Do you want to focus on to the Lord? No, that it is our Gillette instant replay, ladies and gents. And I did feel that they can take this fight. But the problem is, again, the lead of JP is just overwhelming. He's got the right targets without the Numinum Blast. There's no stopping JP here.
And look at how JP just single-handedly focused all his stuff into Eson. Phantom Execution, Thorn Throws, the dashes, a couple of them.
Yeah.
He even let his dash go on cooldown.
Yeah, he does understand maybe that a very strong playmaker or initiate point for the side of Blacklist would be of Eson.
And they got the Lord up top, or a PH here. KLVJ is holding hands with the Lord right now. And they are going to march on to the top lane while while JP and the others, they stick onto the middle lane.
Edward is actually not connecting the claws towards the uptime or anticipating the Thorn Rose from JP. And that's a lot of movements. JP is trying to gauge. He did get tagged onto the claw for once. Finally, and that drops JP towards half health. I think this is going to be Aura. They're going to be careful here because if JP dies, that stops their momentum.
Okay, so Kilowash and the others, they're still controlling the map. Even if, let's say, JP is forced out to, you know, get the lifesteal, he's not really forced to recall as much. So, if you think about it, on the side of Blacklist, they're slowly but surely answering the pressure here for Aura PH, but this is not enough.
Yeah, totally not enough. 5-9 here for our running game. Ladies and gentlemen, the gold lead sits at 9,000 still on the side of Aura PH. They might be waiting for a Lord timer here. I think it is the safest way to go, the safest route to go. Especially, they actually retreat back into the river for this part. Guys, there's so much lead, there are actually 4 turrets outside the base here of Aura PH.
And Blacklist International, if they clearly want to win this, they have to make full clip. They have to put full clip in a good situation. Raflisha getting kicked.
Yeah, a nice pick up on Eson maybe. That's one. Raflisha did get his regeneration down. He can still reset up with his own ultimate and force the flicker away from Isan. He did flicker out. There is going to be Dexter. That's the full setup, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to get a timing down, and it would be a full clip cleaning up towards JP. Kiluas focuses towards Edward. He flickered out with a claw on. Where is BJ? Waiting maybe for a face check. Everyone focuses towards Kiluas. No escaping for that part. Greed tries to land his own ultimate, maybe dish out big damage. There's Isan greeting him, and also Dexter with the shield. He dash forward, and Kiluwash also will be left for dead. BJ. Well, BJ did try to respond.
He did.
Yeah, but it's really late. It's really late. For one part, he did just went for another, maybe for another minion, just a death brush. But yeah, man, very, very massive play from Dexter.
They put full clip in a good spot. And it really just screwed over Aura PH in terms of getting that kill. Look at Raflisha, he went in. Nominal Blast on 2. How instrumental is that Nominal Blast?
A very good read by Dexter. It's a very, very good read. He does know how JP will try to actually walk out. He did walk out just straight back into his own base. And there's the Nominal Blast. It's a very beautiful angle there by Dexter. Had it been maybe that JP dashed or puncture onto one side or just on the left or right, it'd be a different story. But still, that is the Numinum Blast. That is a Numinum Blast.
There is a... Well, Yawi didn't really play that much of a Diggy. I don't think that NXP Solid really tried a Diggy strategy when it was cool.
Yeah.
Or with as a maximum potency, maximum viability.
But at least that is a certain stat. I mean, that's still a lot of assists before you get into the first, right? Following onto the rank number 2. So here we go. We got RPH moving towards the Lord. They got Kuliush dealing that. They know they have to set this up. They have Raflisha for the vision on that side brush. It was shown by Isan, and Aura will reposition again on the mid, just going for the wave clear. Everyone is now being very, very careful.
Okay, so Raflisha leashing that Lord, pulling him for a reset. Don't really know why. He could have just gone for a check there on what's going to happen, or are they setting up on that certain area? And yes, I think both teams here are aiming to go for that Lord. It's almost always certain that JP on that Lancelot is going to have a bit of an advantage, because Thorn Rose with the Retribution has really high damage output. Now, you have that last hit capability onto your side. Do you mess it up? And Raflisha here, getting kicked.
Yeah.
Numinum Blast as well.
That's already burned. Numinum Blast, that is too much. Raflisha can actually cast his own ultimate, maybe catch Eson here, but of course Eson still has his flicker on, and JP won't be following through. He's also getting his own buff. But Numinal Blast, that is still on the timer. That Aura is now starting to count. They will try to lure Blacklist here on taking the fight. Look at how JP baits it out. He went for the Tone Rose and of course a puncture just to check who is hiding on that brush. Sadly, it would be of the tank. These are very, very wise decision makings from our teams, from our players. Dexter now will have his Numenon Blast online.
Okay, so Aura PH here trying to check if their damage was enough. And they knew that the timing on the cooldown here for Dexter on that Numenon Blast, it will really cost them once it goes up and they're in the area of the Lord. So Courage Mask will be used there, trying to get a bit of a, damage or movement speed. But Aqua, they're almost going down. Wow.
Oh no, this is Kilua. She won't waste any time here. He's gonna go for the wave clear. Aqua will do what he can, but Kilua knows that they can trade helps here. He's also taking turret damage. He does. He went the counter Inferno, and he can actually withstand the damage down for the turtle. There goes Dexter. And Flicker from Kilua. He knows he can escape. And that is it. That's how Kilua establishes pressure. He actually took some turret damage, I think.
And looking at it, Blacklist International, they really wanted to go for the punish, but they realized if we go in too deep, that's going to be the free lord for the side of Aura PH.
Yeah.
Not only did they take the lord, they take the upper turret, they took the lord with them instead. So there's going to be a lord marching to that lane, and if you're Blacklist International, you wouldn't really want that.
Also, although snappy when executed, setting up a Numenon Blast is kind of a bit slow.
Yeah.
You need to really be patient in casting that. You cannot easily just throw it away. You have to account for two things. One is of the misposition by the enemy team. The second is of the follow-up by your teammates.
Yeah. And if you have played a Lolita for quite some time, you would see it more as a counter initiation mechanic.
Yeah.
It's a counter initiation mechanic, not really an initiation. Probably an initiation when you are hidden in a bush and someone is taking a buff or two, or just staying in place for quite a long time. You can use that as an initiation mechanic. But if, all in all, you would use that Numenon Blast to counter initiate more than to initiate.
Yeah, more than to initiate. 8-9, ladies and gentlemen. We got 18 minutes for our running game. And we have the Luminous Lord still fully online. Alright, members of Blacklist taking up a conservative position on the brushes that is close towards the Lord. But still, Aura PH, what they are doing, they're showing themselves onto the Lord, on the Luminous Lord. Still trying to scout out where the position and where is the setup of Blacklist will be. Again, knowing this setup, it's all that is important here for Aura PH because Dexter will be key, and contributing for the win here of Blacklist. I think nothing can start without Dexter setup. Greed is now rotating. Wow.
And they know that this is going to be a never-ending dance onto the Lord.
Yeah.
So what they did was they're gonna try to go for a pick-off on someone.
Oh!
And look at this, Eson really just trying to go for him. And
he burned everything.
Oh no, I don't think that's the best decision.
Oh, yeah, he did burn everything. I'm actually curious what the items of JP is. I do expect that Eson would not burst JP, but with that kind of sacrifice, it would be awkward, it would be hard. And with the numbers advantage, without anyone to actually kick them, that's it. They're going to be starting onto the Numinous Lord. Kiluwas will just sacrifice himself, but that is... Oh, no, Numinous Lord. No. Alright, they did reset on the Luminous Lord. The total trade goes in 2 for 2. Alright. Edward already scaled.
Yeah, Edward matters now. And you can think as much as you want, but when Edward is in the vicinity with the ultimate, you are gonna hurt.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt. They're gonna be focusing towards JP. Ladies and gentlemen, also to Raplisha. Remember that the death timers of the earlier members here of Aura PH still sits at 20 seconds. There's a minion wave onto the side of Blacklist International. Though the top lane side is pushing, Blacklist knows that they can still deliver a blow and take this Luminous Lord. That is surely a Luminous Lord now for Blacklist.
Full clip, almost going down. Will Greed be there in the vicinity to actually take this down? Edward taking a lot of the damage here. And here comes Greed in the vicinity for a meteor shower. And look at that zone out.
Yeah, there is going to be that zone out, ladies and gentlemen. And
hey, Dexter got it.
Yeah, lots of stuff that is awkward. Some split-second decision committed as well. On the idea of Eson actually going ham towards JP. But at the same time, it was of JP actually burning everything against...
not reach Edward anymore.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. And it's very hurting to actually see and to actually receive the first kill coming in from Edward here. 12-11, ladies and gentlemen, 20-minute mark. things are too much here. There is going to be the push being done by Blacklist International. They also have the Lord going here at the bottom lane side.
KelVJ didn't even get the winter truncheon. He went straight for the fleeting time. He just wants to pop off every single time on that combo.
Yeah, of course, Raflesia receiving a lot of damage as well. No follow-up is still clear from the Aura PH side. Again, Edward, totally untouchable. Lots of freedom for him. At least Aura is already happy that we're able to get a clear onto that Luminous Lord. Now they will regenerate and make the proper defense here.
Oh.
But a play needs to be done. The claw is not there. There's going to be an entrance by JP. Compared to KelVJ, JP is much willing to actually go for the dive.
Look at that. JP just went in. He got poked by Sicilian and by Full Clip. And he just went back. Look at Raflesia right now. He's not even feeling like he's a tank.
Yeah. And uses the ultimate just to walk away. He does understand that dying here means the end of the game. Aqua goes for the dive. He does feel confident for this part, though he gets greeted by Greed's ultimate once more. No more ultimate for the wave clear. Up top, there is going to be Greed. And of course, also the Luminum Blast. They're trading skills here, one after the other. Greed is forced to fall back. And also another claw towards JP here. Sanguine Claw. And that's it. That should be the trade, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone will reset because everyone has thrown their green dots, and it will be just a cycle all over again with Greed having his meteor shower online.
So this is a game between Raflesia and Eason. Whoever gets that certain initiation that they want, if someone gets kicked on the course here of the side of Aura PH, that is going to be good for the side of Blacklist International. If Raflesia counter-initiates just in time to save his allies with that Sandstorm, I really think that Raflesia here can just be very patient and hit a one-man, two-man stun. That's going to be a big advantage for the side of Aura.
They need to be very, very careful. We are now at the 22-minute mark of our game. 12-11, ladies and gentlemen. And so far, it is going to be ours backs against the wall. Earlier, they were doing a push with a lead of 4 turrets outside their base compared to Blacklist, who has lost their inhibitor turret already. And now, look at that. Eson, Dexter, they all have the proper setup for this. Even Raflesia cannot afford now to even face check this.
JP, KelVJ, and Greed, the wave clear trio here onto the side of Aura PH. That's why it's really hard for Blacklist International to just push. One Shadow Blade Slaughter and one Thorn Rose. Sometimes there is even participation from Greed.
Yeah.
You would expect that the minions are just gonna go down.
The best part here, Butters, is that again, I can expect us to see another fight, another dance around on that Luminous Lord. 30 seconds towards the Luminous Lord.
Yeah.
Really, it's close to impossible to go for the push here on inhibitor turrets, especially with the trade, especially with the wave clear that Aura PH has. Even with Dexter having the bulwark, he won't burn the bulwark just so he can save the minion.
Who has better RNG? That is the question here.
Yeah.
Who has the better RNG? If Aura PH can just get it and, just use the Thorn Rose.
It's all is good for them, ladies and gentlemen. 12-11 so far. And both sits at 70k gold. Ladies and gentlemen, with the Luminous Lord here, Raflesia is starting to scar over on the jungle side, and that leaves freedom for Greed and securing that purple buff. You just need to be careful. There is a Luminous Lord still present here.
And Raflesia going up front, his immortality will go off cooldown. Okay, that's the perfect time for it to go off cooldown, actually. That is the perfect time.
And he's also not showing his Sun Guard on whenever he activates that, making sure that there is always the threat and no info given towards the enemy, that he can be that he is, for a time, vulnerable. Because, again, Sun Guard is one effective tool for tanking. There's going to be the 1v1. Aqua and Kiluwas, of course, Tams will get the win for that part.
Damage output.
Yeah.
And it's all about the explosiveness of Kiluwas Tams. He knows this hero, the ins and outs of the hero. And JP and the others, they're really, you know what? They're really just trying to go for that Lord, but they cannot seem to go for the commit.
It does feel like they want to set up towards Aqua. Maybe on someone that will try to go towards Kiluwas. There's going to be Eason. You can actually see the aggression of Aura PH here. That's the chess game. They revealed themselves. There is KelVJ on the bottom lane. Things are getting more and more heat up. This is gonna be a 4v5 onto the Lord. 4v3.
JP here has enough damage. With a few hits more, it could be the sign of fight here for the side of Blacklist International. Raflesia going for the face check. He knows that he has the capability just because of the immortality, and that's what the immortality gives you, a bit more confidence to go for those face checks.
Each of the two teams are just being very careful here. They know they cannot start the Lord. They know they will be in a tough spot. You know, if you start the Lord, you are very vulnerable to the Numinum Blast. If you are Blacklist International, you are very vulnerable to the Raging Sandstorm. This is totally understandable, guys. But like you and like them, we have no idea how will this be done. How will this be finished? Because it's only through the first one, I think, the first one to pull the trigger will lose the battle.
And that is going to be the meteor shower connecting on multiple people.
And that's it. Well,
you don't stay there.
You don't stay there really. Even Greed here is just using the meteor shower for the face check because vision is so important right now for the setups. You're going for Isan. Raflesia goes in. He is taunting a lot. There goes Greed. Cast the ultimate. Bulwark. Bulwark down.
And he got it.
Yeah, he did get it. Numinum Blast! That's a big giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. That signals for the fight, but Aqua goes onto the side, ladies and gentlemen. It's also Raflesia who will be traded on by the members of Blacklist International. Meanwhile, what is being done here will be of Kliwash, and everyone gets the reset. Aqua will go down.
Okay. So, Aqua just went in to get comboed by Kill VJ. But you know what? Esan here is the next target, and look at the damage output coming out from Greed.
Yeah.
It's being a problem right now.
And that's it. That should stop the clash, guys. I'm very confident. You know why? Numinum Blast will be up any moment soon.
Oh, but they're good. They're really go for it.
Make him just bait the Lord. This is Kiluwash, the first one that casted on the Lord. Counter and Inferno is done. This is just accounting for the ults, guys. This is Dexter also already willing to take up the position. KLBJ is an idea of where Dexter might be. He's waiting for the opportunity. There you go. He wants that. That is the position for the Numinum Blast. Raflesia will be down. And of course, Greed forced to flicker out. They focus towards Greed. I'm not sure if Greed does have the immortality. KLBJ not given any opportunity to go for the dive. That's going to be Raflesia. Also destroyed. KLBJ went for the Shadow Blade Onslaught full combo. And he gets knocked up. Double kill already. Secured in by Full Clip. But at what cost? Kiluwash goes for the push.
And Kiluwash. He makes the most out of this.
Yeah.
JP is in the vicinity. They could go for the steal.
Oh, no.
Blacklist International, they're not in the clear.
Yeah, and the problem here is if something doesn't land onto JP, he's good as dead. Dexter dives in, went for the Bulwark. Full Clip wants to commit. And two members already focusing towards the Lord. Once again, back to Lewis, just focusing onto the base. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to put that camera on. And that's it. That's it. That's the game. Yeah, I mean, I'm very sure. No chance of the Uranus actually protecting that base. Ladies and gentlemen, MPL-PH takes this game #1.